Were you surprised by the backlash to the idea that Black Power would put in a treaty claim? Were you surprised by
Yes,
the
I
level of
was.
anger?
I'll be honest with you, I really was.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
These are an alienated group within society. Any
Yeah.
chance to dialogue surely would be a positive thing.
and that's
right?
what we've been trying to push, the Maori Party. Tali and I have been personally working with the gangs up and down the country.
Yeah.
At a cost enormous to ourselves personally, and time-wise and emotion-wise and all that kind of stuff. But the reality is, there's a cousin or a nephew of someone of almost every Maori in those gangs.
Right.
So to just have a law that says they are now criminals is ridiculous because, but having said that, why aren't we not hunting down them vigorously when they can be seen to be connected to a crime?
Right.
There are gang members in crime.
Mm-hmm.
But you look at the last big swoop we've had, out of the 70-odd people, only about 14 or so were gang connected.
Yeah.
So, we politicians tend to say crime, drugs, gangs, all in the same breath.
That's right.
And, it's not that at all. But for gangs that are breaking the law, lock them up.
Mm-hmm.
Make no bones about that.
If you were to criminalise all gangs now, and I've heard figures ranging from either there are 10,000 to 30,000 active gang members. Let's go for 15,000. Let's go in the middle. How do you think our underfunded, overcrowded, corrupt, violent prison system would cope with the sudden influx, if we were to criminalise gangs, of 15,000 gang members? How would we? What are the consequences of trying to push through knee-jerk legislation?
There are many consequences from that kind of legislation. To begin with, non-association legislation has its problems.
Yeah.
Secondly, who is a gang? If there's a reputable so-called group who have to break the law to make a point, does that make them in that category, like Greenpeace say, where we all go and demonstrate against something and we break the barriers and stuff? And now they're a gang?
Well, the police decide, aren't they? They're the ones who decide who a gang is.
That's right. But in terms of just deciding that we can put them all in prison is silly. You could drive them out underground, and then you don't know who you're dealing with. And in a sense, that's what has happened with some of the gangs. They've actually pulled out of the gang thing and done a drug thing. Now, some of the gangs that are in drugs are not in gang stuff anymore, but they're ex-gang members.
Yeah.
But let's be clear about that. That crime is spread across the whole country.
Yeah.
In all socioeconomic places.
Referring back to Matthew Hooton, in an email from the Hollow Men from the last election, Hooton advises Brash to appear sympathetic to Maori so that it would eliminate perceptions that Don was hard right, surprise urban liberals and make them consider National, and pick up conservative Maori votes. Do you think National are playing the same game this election?
Well, I'll be really honest with you. I am a servant of the Maori people. And if they cannot live with this party or that party, then I won't be going with them.
Right.
In any sort of arrangement. But we are definitely looking for a treaty partner, as we said before.
Yeah.
And ultimately we'll make a decision about any arrangements we have and what kind of arrangements those will be. It may definitely, a non-coalition one is a definite possibility.
Right.
I mean, Winston's had a very successful non-coalition relationship. And he's done well at it, and he's done well out of it as well. Yeah. So, who knows? This is the beauty of MMP to me, that all the small people can have a voice, but also possible of have a variety of relationships.
Were you surprised personally that Winston attacked you as the Māori Party as vigorously as he did after you voted for the censure?
Very surprised, and I was disappointed, I suppose is the real word. I've said I was disgusted, but the point is, it just hurt us that we were expected to vote in terms of our ethnic origin, vote Maori, as opposed to voting according to how we perceive the evidence. Right. Our man was in there. He agreed with the other four parties plus the two independents. Yep. And they said it in the House. They've said it in their press releases, the evidence that they worked on and why we made those decisions. Yeah. So yes, I was disappointed but I understand in a way Winston thought we were going to support him through as a Maori, because as a Maori, we've been asked for a month now. This controversy has been going for ages, but in the past month, people have been ringing us, the press, our people, everyone saying, oh, what about Winston? Yeah. And we say, look, te hoa, Winston has opened up Korea. He's been done some good stuff in the United States. He's really opened up the Pacific nations. Yeah. And they love Winston because of his relationship and what he's done there. He's been in Parliament for some 30 years.
So he has a certain mana?
Oh, definitely got a certain mana, but he's got a string of achievements as well. So we would say, hang cool here. Don't knock the man until due process has taken its place.
Right.
And we were part of that due process. So, and because it turned against Winston, the due process, he has interpreted that as a betrayal. And one can understand that to a certain extent.
But it's a slightly farcical to hope that you would simply support him, even if the evidence suggests something else, surely.
Well, we were hurt by it anyway, that's all. And because we have a reputation of not attacking the person, but attacking the kaupapa. And we thought we were doing that by saying, don't be hard on Winston for what he's done. Wait till the due process takes its place on that decision.
Let's talk about the arrogance of power. Are you disgusted by Labour and National's decision to not allow you and the other minor parties to be able to be part of the televised debates?
Totally. You've got people who've been in that parliament for years who are leading parties. Yes. And now what they're saying is you don't rate. This is a leader to leader of the big parties. This is first past the post again.
That's right.
And that's what's wrong with it. No, we should be up there debating alongside them. We are leaders. We have followings. We've actually got something like 24,000 members. I mean, you don't need members, you just need votes. But we've actually got that many members, which is quite a large party.
Which would certainly challenge, I think, National and Labour.
Well, that's right, their numbers
these days, even. That's right.
And to think that we don't count to me, it's disgusting.
They're not going to. Their argument is that it will either be Labour or National who lead the next election, but they're not going to be able to lead without a coalition partner.
And secondly, they should say stuff in front of us and hear stuff from us while they're debating.
Yes.
It's important because it may bring up issues that they have to answer.
Yeah. Do you think the mainstream media should go ahead with the debates, or they should postpone those debates until both parties agree to everyone being on the same stage?
Well, I can only speak on a personal level and at this stage because I'm going to discuss that with some of my caucus today.
Right.
But right at this time, no, TV should turn them down.
Are you concerned about National's desire to hold a referendum on MMP?
I'm very concerned about Nationals in this case. Yeah. Yes, because I don't think MMP has had enough time to run its course.
Yes.
Winston's arrangement that came out of the last MMP, amazing.
Yes.
Who knows what will come out of this one? And we've got to let it be explored. And I don't think it's done any harm, the deal that Winston got last time for New Zealand First. I think it's done the country good in the long run. So why would we kill that?
I want to get back to something on John Key's policy that you touched on earlier. How has John Key attached the controversial cut-off date to treaty negotiations with the scrapping of the Maori seats? The logic is, once all grievances are settled, you don't need a political voice. What's your reaction to that?
I think you've described it very well. I don't see the connection between the grievances and the representation that we have. You've got to remember that those Maori seats were given not to give Maori a voice in Parliament, but to restrict their voice to 4 people. Right. Because in those days there were more Maori than Pākehā, and they said, "Oh goodness, we can't have it." So we'll give them 4 seats, especially for Maori interests. So they had 4 seats, and they've stayed that way until recently, 5 and now 7. But so quite clearly they belong to the Maori people. But there's no connection whatsoever. So I'm amazed that he said that twice now.